What's going on, my Jets family? I appreciate all you guys out there. Oh, I got Michael out there. Welcome back. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you being here with me. Jeff's out there. Hey, everybody. Hey, my man. It's good to be back with you guys. I want to thank you guys for, like always, tuning in on your Monday evenings to the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. I'm excited to be here with you guys, excited to be talking about them Jets. And this is our first official collaborative mock. As you guys remember last year, we excuse me, we do mock drafts where I give you guys, my eval, the guys I like at that pick. We go through the trades potentially, but you guys ultimately make the decision. Pure Adrenaline's out there. What's up, my brother? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate all you guys. And again, all you guys out there, it's the beauty of this. You guys remember, got Jets gang, Jets, Jets. Let's go, buddy. Jets. Let's kill this draft. Let's do it, man. But you guys ultimately make the pick. You guys ultimately, I'll give you all my eval and I'll be like, I really want this guy, but you guys will ultimately make the decision. Okay, so I want to thank you guys again for tuning in and again being here, functioning on very, very low fuel, very low fumes. As you guys know, Sundays is always tough, going back to work for anybody, but especially teacher. I had off last week, so this last Sunday was especially hard. Going back, I could be, the staying up really, really late. I don't know what it is, but didn't really sleep last night. But it's all good. I'm here with you guys. I'm again excited, and I appreciate you guys being here. So let's jump right into it. Let's begin. So let me get this going. Share my screen with you. Here we go. And beautiful. So we have begun. So we're obviously going to select our Jets. 7 rounds, normal speed. Let's do it. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Wow. Okay. Somehow, in some magical universe, this is the first time I think I've ever, even using Pro Football Network, I use them all the time. And I've never seen Hutchinson still on the board. Like I was actually going to point out, and I think you guys would agree with me right now too. We're running to the podium, right? Like we're sprinting up there as fast as we possibly can, and we're hoping we don't trip over our feet on the way up. Like Neil, I'm shocked Neil didn't even go. This is honestly one of the most interesting ones I've ever seen. Neil and Hutchinson are almost always gone, and they're both still there. So you guys know how I feel. I think Aiden Hutchinson is the best edge rusher in this draft. Aiden Hutchinson, you guys remember, I compared him to a very raw, because he only has one season, but a very raw TJ Watt type, a Nick Bosa type. And honestly, a very powerful, powerful edge rusher that's physically dominant and very disruptive. Reminds me very much of Carl Lawson's play, honestly. So if Carl Lawson is really, 100% ready to go, those two guys, those two beasts, those two big physical guys that power through people, man, that will be exciting. So I think you guys are with me. I see Adrenaline, is saying have to take Hutchinson. You have to. Like, I don't even understand how he's still on the board. Like, he is the top edge rusher in this draft class. You guys remember, I can't even believe Karlaftis went this high. Like, Jeff points out, Texans, no wonder they suck. Man, I can't believe Karlaftis went this high. Like, you guys remember, I was one of the first ones to say it. It was back months ago when everyone had Karlaftis high. Remember, everyone had Karlaftis as the third guy, and I was like, I don't see it. I'm watching him and I don't hate him, but I don't see how he's like a top 10 pick. Like that just made no sense to me at all. You guys remember my take was I like Jermaine Johnson. I think Jermaine Johnson is massively underrated. They have him ranked as like 22 here. That's crazy town. This kid is better than excuse me, than Karlaftis, honestly. And Sakavian Thibault went number 1. Again, I think Hutchinson's the better guy. Very shocked. Andrew Booth Jr. I can get. Still a little, I would take Sauce Gardner over him, but okay if I were the Lions. Karlaftis makes no sense to me. Jeff, you nailed it. If the Texans really do this, then yeah, it's over. So easy decision. I agree with you guys. Easy. Jets gang said the same thing. Get Hutchinson. Let's do it. Oh, man. Getting Hutchinson, pairing him with Carl Lawson. So let's see these next couple of picks. We got Evan Neal off the board. Matt Corral went 6. That's interesting. Matt Corral went 6th overall. This draft is crazy town to me. Like, I don't know if Pro Football Network is broken because I've never seen this before. Somehow Kyle Hamilton is still on the board. Kyle Hamilton is somehow on the board at 10, and so is Akeem Aquanu. I mean, I love Aquanu. I think he could arguably be. I've said I think he's better than Neal, honestly. I think Aquanu is the best overall lineman. Arguably, if Neal's people have him as number one, you could argue he's the best player in this draft. So I don't understand how either one of them are on the board right now. Kyle Hamilton and Aquanu should definitely be gone. Like neither one should be there. Like, so Kevin's pointing out, if you're not doing trades, do the draft machine. Bro, it's weird because like I've done this one a bunch. I've done pro football. I did like 3 of these before we started just to see how it went. Hutchinson and Neal were off the board every time. Every time I did it just to test it out and see how I liked it. I liked it because it made sense. This is the first one that's kind of crazy town, which is very interesting. But you know what? Crazy things can happen. So somehow Hamilton is on the board, which again is just Hamilton on the board at 10 and Aquanu at the board at 10 are just crazy town to me. So the fact that both of them are on the board, I'd have to say one of them. I'll let you guys choose. Honestly, I'm thinking Aquanu is the better pick. I mean, again, I think Aquanu is better than Neal. I think he's the best overall offensive lineman in this entire draft. And again, people had Neal at first overall. Aquanu can play. If you guys haven't seen the video, I put out a video on this kid, accumulation of like all the highlights that everyone put together. It's insane. He just physically dominates in every aspect of the game, whether he's at left tackle, left guard, or right tackle. He can play anything but center, and he is physically dominant and disruptive in the run game and the pass game, but he also has excellent footwork, excellent technique. He is literally day one ready. Aquanu is day one ready to play any position but center, and the beauty of that is also options. You could start him at right guard. Maybe he moves to right tackle next year. A lot of different options. So Jeff points out someone will overpay for a QB at 10. Well, what's crazy here is Matt Corral's gone. Like, I've said that if a QB goes first, it could be Matt Corral. I know people have disagreed with me, but 6 is kind of high. But then again, the Panthers fudged up by getting Sam Darnold from us. Remember, everyone's like, will they take a quarterback high or stick with Sam? They stuck with Sam, and that didn't work out. They also traded back for Cam, and that didn't work out. So I get that they're going for a quarterback. Makes sense. A lot of people don't think a quarterback will go in the top 10. So could be interesting to, see how this rolls out. But I think it's, again, crazy that Hamilton and Aquanu are still on the board. Like, that is just absolute insanity to me. So there's trades. I would look at the trades, of what's being offered. But I want to let me go out of the trades. You guys have any idea what's going on here? Why it's doing this to me? Why it won't let me out of this trade? The cancel button's not working. Let me try making it smaller, maybe. It's an ad. Kevin says it's an ad, so I'm missing something here. I'm not sure what I'm missing. I don't see an X anywhere. Oh, man, we have to start this over, guys. My apologies. I mean, Jesus. This is like the greatest Jets draft in the history, and it's just failing on me. Hit the X button on the bottom right. Why is it not showing me an X button? Oh, man. This is really weird. There is really no X button for some reason. I don't see one. Try. Maybe I have to zoom out to see it. Let's give this a shot. Zoom out a bunch. Ah, yeah. Oh, you nailed it, man. You did it. You nailed it. Much appreciated. We got Kevin here with the win. David points out Hutchinson wouldn't be there at 4. Reality created tech issues. Man, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I was blown away. Like, again, I'd done like 3 or 4 or so before we started because I wanted to see how it went. Again, Hutchinson and Aquanu, were gone. Aquanu was gone in the top 10. So was Hamilton. Both were gone. And in the top 4, Hutch was gone, and also Neil was gone, and somehow both were available, which is just crazy town. So we could look at the trade offers, but honestly, with you, I'm blown away. Hamilton and Aquana are still on the board. Like, that's just insanity to me that they're both still there, and I would want to take one of them. Again, I lean toward Aquana, but I will let you guys decide. Your guys' decision. What do you guys think? Do you want to look at the trade offers? You want to take Hamilton, or you want to take Aquana? Again, I'm thinking Icky. Leisure was calling him Icky. I like it. I'm leaning toward Icky, but up to you guys. Whatever you guys think, whatever you think might be a good move. You guys seem kind of indifferent about it. I guess you agree with me. No real opinions here. Kevin says, look at the trade offers. We could definitely take a look. We could look and see what the trade offers are. So we got 10 for the 14th pick and the 45th pick. That's not bad. I mean, again, somehow Hamilton and Aquana were still on the board. That's crazy to me. I can't pass on one of the two of them. Like, neither one, I can't stress that neither one should be there in the top 10. When the Jets pick at 10, neither of those two guys should be there. But if they are, that's crazy town. So moving back 4 spots isn't bad. I'd be shocked if either one is still there. You could go with someone else. You get the 45th pick. The other one, you get a lot, but you're dropping too much. I mean, honestly, you're getting a lot, but that's too big a drop for me to go from top 10 to 31. Just I can't do that with this much talent in this draft. This draft, again, you got like Hamilton's available, Aquanu's available, Sauce is still there, so Stingley. I can't trade back that far. It to me, it makes no sense. I don't know if you guys would want to do this one, but honestly, I'm really leaning toward, again, Hamilton or Aquanu. Like, that's really what I'm leaning toward. I guess I have to do that every time I want to close it now because of this stupid ad. But Kev points out I would choose Akeem. I would too. I would too, man. Oh, it's gonna happen again, but I figured it out at least this time. I don't know what's going on with that bar down there, man. It's trying to kill this draft. I think what happened was the football gods are angry that Hutchinson was still on the board and then Neil was still on the board and then the football gods are angry. The football gods are like, this draft, no. But I mean, if you never know, that's the thing. Like, again, I did this one, and I know a lot of people use Pro Football Network. I've used Pro Football Network a lot myself. It never done this before. This is the first time this had ever happened, but it can happen. That's the point. Anything can happen on draft day. Like you guys point, a team trades up for a quarterback because they really are in love with the guy. Let's say they're head over heels over Coral or one of the other guys, or people fall. People fall all the time. So it's unlikely, but very possible. Kev points out I choose Akeem. It's a hard thing to pass up. I mean, Hamilton is a great player, but Aquanu, guys. Aquanu is, again, arguably the best offensive lineman in this draft. And if people had Neil at number 1, I've said that means that you're arguing Aquanu could be the first overall pick. So the fact that he's there at 10 is insane. Man can play every position but center. You guys know I love Tyler Linderbaum. You guys know I'm in love with Tyler Linderbaum, but after watching Aquanu enough, I get it. I get why he's that pick. He's going to be an elite NFL offensive lineman relatively quickly, probably too. So it's an easy pick. I say go with Akeem Aquanu. I'm trying to process the fact that we just walked away with Hutchinson and Akeem. I think if this happened on real draft day, I might just die of excitement. Like, it's very possible. So We're seeing these guys coming off the board now. Sauce is gone, obviously. I mean, and that's the thing we have to keep in mind. The Jets pick again at 35. As we know, 2 or 3 or 4 first-round guys tend to fall to, and we'll look at these trade offers in a sec, 2 or 3 guys tend to fall to the end of the first round, beginning of the second. A 35th pick is really still a first-round pick. 38, you're pushing it a little bit, but 35 is still really a first-round pick. So the Jets arguably have 3 first-round picks in this draft. So a lot of those talented guys we were talking about are gone, obviously. Linderbaum went at 26. I've said I think he can go a lot higher. Again, you guys remember my argument. I mean, just because he's a center, everyone's got that label on him. But you take center off, you smack a guard label on him, and everyone's like, take him top 10. He's a freaking beast. So he's an interesting candidate of what could happen with him. Unfortunately, Jermaine Johnson also went. So Jermaine Johnson isn't there anymore. But we got Aiden Hutchinson. So I don't know about you guys right now, but the way I look at it is we just walked away with an elite edge rusher. I think the best one in the draft and the best offensive lineman in the draft, really. So now I want to look at offensive weapons for Zach Wilson. That's what I want to do. So I look at the receivers available. You got Jahan Dotson. Who is not, I'm curious what they say about it. I'm actually curious what their take on him is. You guys can see. So I'll leave it up so you can see it. I would agree with that for the most part. For the most part. I would say, he's not as good a route runner maybe as they're saying. But, I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch at that pick, honestly. So, fortunately, I have to do that again to close it. I don't know why it's doing that to us. There we go. Got it. So there's Jahan Dotson, tight end. So they got Trey McBride labeled as 48. That's way too low in my opinion. That is way too low. Dude could go. It's interesting. You guys remember I put videos out on him as well. A lot of people have. He was not just the best receiving tight end in football last year. He was one of the best receivers, period, last year. As a tight end, the dude put up over 1,100 yards. He was unbelievable. And he's a pretty decent blocker, too. So I think he could literally go end of the first, beginning of the second. I mean, they have him ranked at 48. So I would say he should still be there at 38. Would honestly be my opinion. So Kev points out, since we didn't take a wide receiver in the first, I would take Trey McBride at 38 and get a wide receiver later. I get that. I mean, that's what I agree. I mean, with Dotson, I like him. I definitely like him. I feel like he could be a good slot guy. That's the way I look at Dotson. I feel like, you got, because again, he's a little smaller, and he's very quick. He's very agile. So I would say with a guy like Dotson, obviously I'd like to see us re-sign Berrios, but you got a guy like, Elijah Moore's wide receiver 1, Corey Davis, who, as I mentioned, is, I think, a bit of a slept-on wide receiver 2, because he wasn't a wide receiver 1, but if he's putting up 100 yards or close to 100 yards a game as a wide receiver 2, that's freaking awesome. So Dotson could be an interesting slot option. But, yeah, at 35, yeah. So we look at who else is available. We can go by overall talent. I mean, a lot of people love Trayvon Walker. I mean, a lot of people do like him. I don't know if you guys want to double down with edge. A lot of people like Trayvon Walker, and I get it. I mean, we did get Aiden Hutchinson. So if Carl Lawson is healthy, you got Carl Lawson, you got John Franklin Myers, you got Bryce Huff, and now you got Aiden Hutchinson. Maybe. An interesting one, you guys know, I love offensive line. I wouldn't say no to Zion Johnson. I mean, we already got one ACC offensive lineman. We got NC State's Akeem Ekwonu, so you got Boston College Zion Johnson. I'm a fan of him. I think he's underrated. I feel like he is a much better guard than he gets credit for. So up to you guys. I don't know if there's a certain guy you guys want to look at. Drake Jackson is still there. I know a lot of people like Drake Jackson at edge, even though he's much lower rated. So up to you guys. I don't know if there's a certain one you guys like. That's a good. So Jeff asks, can Johnson play center? That's a great question. So I really do like the Boston College center, Alec Linderbaum. I'm mixing up Tyler Linderbaum now. Alec Lindstrom, I believe, is the guy I'm trying to say, but I'm mixing it up with Linderbaum. Hold on. It's Lindstrom. Yeah, I just had to check for a second. So Alec Lindstrom is the brother of the really good first-round center, Chris Lindstrom. I really liked him last year. I thought if he went, I liked him as a late-round pick. I mean, again, Alec has been the BC center. I don't know if Zion Johnson can play center. I mean, you got a guy like Akeem Ekwonu who could play anything. So right now, if Makai is healthy, you just got Akeem Ekwonu. That offensive line is Makai Becton, AVT, McGovern, who you guys know I'm not a huge fan of McGovern. He did have a quality year last year. He needs to do it again, and we don't know if he will. He's been up or down his whole career. But if he can have a quality year, it could happen with AVT and Ekwonu around him. With quality guard play around him, it will elevate his play. So you got AVT to his left, Ekwonu to his right, then you got George Fan at the right tackle. That's a pretty sexy offensive line. I'm going to say so. That's a pretty sexy offensive line. So Jeff says McGovern will be a cap casualty. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible he could be a cap casualty. I don't think he will be. I mean, there's a chance he could be restructured. That's the whole point of these contracts that JD puts us in. JD, puts us in these contracts to, renegotiate with the player to, give him maybe more guaranteed money and take a little of the cap room off there to free up more room to get more guys. It's smart GMing. That's what Joe Douglas does. So I don't think he'd be a cap casualty. I think maybe he'd be restructured. That's definitely a possibility. So David points out he played center at Senior Bowl. I didn't realize that. That's an excellent point. I would have to look back. I did not realize that. So that's a really interesting point. He played center at Senior Bowl. I always just like Zion. I felt like Zion Johnson and Alec Lindstrom were two really good players next to each other. I would, I would take him there. It would up to you guys. But I mean, that's an option. Jets Gang says, let's look at the cornerbacks and the safeties. Let's see what we got going on there. Okay, Trent McDuffie's still there. So Trent McDuffie is available. Now, as you guys know, with Trent McDuffie, his speed is pretty ridiculous. He's not the highest jumper, but he's got pretty ridiculous speed. He's not the biggest guy. He's most likely going to be a slot guy. I mean, we have smaller guys already. I do like him, though. That's the thing. I do like Trent McDuffie, but he's not, I don't know. He's a little smaller than I would like. I mean, but then again, to be fair, we look at Brandon Echols, and Echols has been doing really well on the outside, and Echols is on the smaller side too. So that's definitely an option. We look at safety. I'll be honest. I'm not as big a fan of Sign as everyone else is. I know a lot of people like Lewis Sign. I don't hate him. I definitely don't hate him, but I feel like this is a little high for him, honestly. So if it was my opinion, I would say, okay. So I would pick between Trent McDuffie at corner. If you wanted to go edge, maybe Drake Jackson or Trayvon Walker. At wide receiver, Jahan Dotson or Zion Johnson. Those would be the guys I would choose from if I were you guys. That would be the guys I would go from. So Jets King said, people said McDuffie's the next J.R. Alexander. I've heard really good things about him, and I do really like him. I just, again, there were, I think they brought it up in there. Let me bring it back up. There's been, where is it? Yeah, that he has 35.5-inch verticals, 41.5. One thing I've heard from him is that consistency with being an outside guy. Some people question that. So if he's the next J.R. Alexander, then sign me up. Let's take him. I'm down. So I would definitely be cool with Trent McDuffie. If you guys want, I would definitely make that pick. Totally cool with that. Then you could take Trey McBride at 38. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I mean, Kev, I don't hate Sign. I'm not gonna be wrong. I don't hate him. I just would, I don't know, in the 50s, that's probably where I'd take him if I had to. So Kev asked what linebackers are on the board. I know I'm the minority in thinking that our linebacker room is pretty decent. I know people think I'm crazy with that. We have two guys that didn't really get to play. Jamie Sherwood looked really good as a rookie and as a Mike linebacker, a lead middle linebacker, and he got hurt. Hamson Assadine really didn't get a chance to play. Coaches said they wanted him to bulk up in the offseason. CJ Mosley and Quincy Williams, I've said, I think we're an underappreciated combination. Quincy Williams came in the middle of the year. Keep in mind, no offseason, no, warming up and learning with the guys, just learning on the go. And the biggest knock on him was, okay, he's super fast. He's super quick. He's a great tackler. Kind of sucks in coverage. he had some pretty good coverage games, specifically against the Saints, the Bucks. He had some pretty decent coverage games. So I think CJ, Quincy, Gerard Davis could be re-signed. Those two rookies. I think our linebacker room is a little slept on. I could see so Jets King points out he's the same height as Alexander. Maybe it was just me watching him play. When I watched him play, he felt on the smaller side to me. I could just be viewing it wrong. He felt like more of an inside guy to me. I do like him, though. Don't get me wrong. I definitely do like him. Jeff says, buy a safety, Marcus Williams. I'm in for it. Baby, buy a safety, buy a Val. I like Marcus Williams. That's a good move. I'm down. You want to pay Marcus Williams? I'm cool with that. I approve. So it definitely seems like Jets gang wants to take McDuffie, which I totally get. Kevin also points out Trent McDuffie would be a steal at 35. So let's do it. Nice, easy decision here. So looks like this draft is really, really shaping up to be something sexy and something special. So you take Trent McDuffie there. You guys know I want to, so we can see what the trade offers are. You move down 2 picks and you get a third next year. That's not bad because, again, you guys, I think you agree with me. You want to take McBride here. They have McBride badly ranked. They have McBride ranked at 45. He could still go in the next 2 picks. There's a chance he could go, but we pick up a third rounder. This one, you guys know my big thing is I don't like dropping that far. I don't like going from 38 all the way to 104. Yes, you're getting a lot from it, but 38's a high pick. 38 is a very high pick. It's a high second pick. So I don't like this one as much. If you guys like this one, we could definitely do it. We could roll the dice if you guys want and see if McBride is there in 2 picks. Up to you guys. Otherwise, I'm thinking Trey McBride here. And as we said before, Trey McBride was not just the best receiving tight end in football last year. He was one of the best receivers, period, as a tight end. This dude has real potential, and he can block as well. So he's an exciting pick. He's who I want to go with. My question for you guys is, do you think he'll be there in 2 more picks and we pick up a third next year, which is definitely a good pick? So I don't know what you guys think. If you guys want to chime in, do you guys think we should take the trade, or you think we should just take McBride and not get risky? So Kev says he would trade down. Again, we go by the way they rate it. They have him ranked as 45th. I disagree with it. Again, I could literally see a team valuing his receiving ability because, again, we talked about it. You guys remember. If you didn't see in my Super Bowl recap episode where we talked about how the passing game is key right now, as we know, but I showed with statistics, it's key. It's all about the passing game. And someone will look at McBride and say, it's not just about him being a tight end. He's a legit receiving option. Like we've seen with Travis Kelce, like we've seen with a lot of tight ends in the league. Having a legit receiving tight end is a massive advantage. So he could potentially go late first, early second. I could see him going as high as potentially late 20-something, honestly. So David says secure the tight end. Kev says he would trade down. I don't know if one of you guys wants to be the deciding vote. If one of you guys wants to be the tiebreaker here. But so we got 1 vote for trade down, 1 vote for secure the tight end. The real question is, again, will he be there in 2 picks? Again, they have him ranked at 45th. But so Jeff makes a good point. It really comes down to what we do in free agency as well. Did we sign Schultz? You guys know I really like Gesicki, but I get that people like Schultz more because he's a blocker and he fits the scheme more. I get that. So if we sign Schultz, then trade down, totally get it. Zach says trade down. So you know what? Let's pretend we signed a tight end, right? This is our fantasy world right here. So let's say the Jets signed Dalton Schultz. They paid the dude a lot of money. Everyone's super excited. Let's trade down. Let's pick up a 3rd-round pick next year. So unfortunately, with this stupid ad thing, which I still haven't figured out how to close, if any of you guys have any ideas, we're going to accept the trade. And we're going to see. Okay, see, he's still there. So Trey McBride is still there. Jahan Dotson is gone. So Dotson went, which is not surprising. 40 to 104 is a big drop, and 40 to 64 is a big drop. So I say here, get him. In my opinion, I say here, don't be cute. You see Trey McBride, his number's almost up. Zion Johnson is somehow still there, which is kind of crazy. But there's no way Trey McBride is going to be there at what do we have, 69, I believe? Yeah. There's no feasible way Trey McBride is there. So I like Zion Johnson. Hell, I don't hate Petit Frere that much either. I prefer Zion Johnson, but I say Trey McBride. That's my opinion here. I say McBride. Before you guys were kind of agreeing, so let's do it. Let's take McBride. Man, this is turning out to be a sexy, sexy draft. Like a really sexy draft. So I do want to shout out to Zachary. Zachary says, get a kicker with the last pick. Bro, I'm with you, man. I'm so with you. Remember I pointed it out, during the interview, what do you call it? The season ticket holder interview that Robert Saleh had with the fans. Someone asked him about kicker, and he talked about how it's an important position. It's been underappreciated by the Jets. We've literally seen the last couple of years losing games solely because of kickers. Maybe Eddie, I don't know why I'm blanking on saying his last, Pinheiro, if I'm saying it right. Pinheiro, he could be the guy. He's been perfect, but hell, Matt Amendola was perfect too. Let's not forget that, right? Matt Amendola was freaking perfect, and then he wasn't. So appreciate you guys. Jeremy's here. Appreciate you coming in, Jeremy. Hey, hey, hey. He's coming in like a Fat Albert. Hey, hey, hey. Love it, brother. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate all you guys. Please tune in, guys. Give me your 2 cents. Tell me what you think. If you want to trade up, you want to trade back, you want to do this. Remember, it's your draft. I'm going to give you my feedback. I'm going to give you, who I like and what I want to do. But it's all what you guys want. Kev points out how the Giants took Chad Mums. It is what it is, man. I mean, it's how the draft, the table falls. So, honestly, it would have been a good one. It was only 2 picks away. That's why I wanted to see how far it was. It's only 2 picks. It was very close. It was very close. So, if we look at overall best available, okay, it's up to you guys right now. So, we said we were pretending the Jets signed Dalton Schultz. I floated that, as we know, Joe Douglas is about supplementing in free agency, but he's really about building through the draft. It's about building an NFL team young, sustainably, not expensive, through the draft and getting talent that way. Jalen Wademeyer is an outstanding tight end option, in my opinion. I think McBride is better, but there are some people that think Wademeyer is the better of the 2 tight ends. If you guys want, we can pretend we didn't draft Dalton Schultz. Sorry, we can pretend we didn't sign Dalton Schultz, and we could double down on tight end. So I wouldn't mind that at all right now, especially because at 69, he's a freaking steal. Like, they have him ranked at 51. I've seen people having Wademeyer going in the 40s. So if you guys want, I don't think that's a bad move. If you want to maybe do that. And again, we can pretend we didn't sign Schultz because, as we know, and I pointed out on here, the reason I like Gesicki is nothing against Schultz, but he has one really good year of production. And we've seen the Jets pay a lot of guys with one good year of production, and it doesn't pan out. I mean, it was a great year of production. Don't get me wrong. Dalton Schultz is one of the best overall tight ends in all of football this year. But because of that, he's going to get paid. He's going to get a lot of money. Joe Douglas may decide he doesn't want to throw big money at a guy, and he might want to, go through the draft. So that's definitely an option. I don't know what you guys think. Again, Wademeyer here is a pretty decent steal, I do believe. So we can see who else we got. I don't love Sam Williams, I'll be honest. I know some people do. I'm not in love with him. I know his 40 number is pretty ridiculous, but I don't know. I don't hate him. I'm just not in love with him. Was never a guy that really jumped out, I'll be honest to me. But up to you guys. If there's a certain position you want to look at, if there's a certain guy you'd want to go with, please chime in. Please let me know. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you want to do. But so far, we can go by what they deem our needs are. So far, we go back to the top. I thought there was a way to view, the guys you drafted. Post trade, resume, trade offer. Thought there was a way to view, but we know. So we got Hutchinson. So we got one of the best, arguably the best edge rusher in the draft, the best offensive lineman in the draft. Akeem Ekwonu at 10 is insane. So far, Aiden Hutchinson and Ekwonu is enough to stop any Jets fan's heart, to be honest. To get them at 4 and 10 is like, you did something dirty. It's not supposed to happen. But you walked away with those two guys, and then we got Trent McDuffie and Trey McBride. So an option right now could be potentially wide receiver. Get another weapon for Zach Wilson. I like Justin Ross. I think Justin Ross and George Pickens are underrated, in my opinion. If I was going to give you my 2 cents on these two guys, I think George Pickens and Justin Ross are underrated. I like both of them, different receivers, but like them both. Depending on what you guys think, I would. Ross is, more of a bigger physical receiver. I would, maybe go with one of those two guys. One of those two guys at 69 is not bad, in my opinion. So Pickens or Ross, if you guys wanted to maybe go with a wide receiver. Jack says get Pickens. I like them both. I'll be honest. I like them both. So completely different receivers. Again, Ross is more of a big guy. Pickens, is pretty big too, if I remember correctly. He's tall. He's 6'3", 200. Pickens just reminds me of like a solid guy that could be at minimum a good wide receiver 2, potentially a wide receiver 1. He's got good height, good weight, good size, good hands. He kind of just checks every box. So that's the nice thing about Pickens. So I'll give you that, Zachary. I guess I would take Pickens over him. I do like the size of Ross. I feel like he's a physical receiver. Just close that. But Pickens does check a lot of boxes. Again, Pickens has the height, the body, the build, the hands. I like Pickens a lot. So Jeremy asks, is Watson still there? Let me take a look. He literally just went 1 pick up. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't see him. Yeah, he literally just went 1 pick up. So that wouldn't have been a bad move. I think Wademeyer is not a bad move, guys. So again, I know a lot of people want Dalton Schultz, and I get that. But we could pretend, if you want, that we didn't do that, and we draft 2 tight ends. If you draft McBride and Wademeyer, who you just gave Zach Williams? Let me speak English. You just gave Zach Williams. You just gave Zach Wilson 2 excellent inside options. 2 excellent inside options. So that could be a good way to go. Yeah, I agree, Jeremy. Yeah, he's not there. He's not there, so we can't have him. But yeah, Watson is like the big guy that's also fast. But he's not there. We can't. The Texans kind of screwed up before, as you guys saw going to the top of the draft. They somehow took Karlaftis when Hutchinson is on the board. So someone already shot the Texans GM. So one of the fans already took him out. So this is somebody else making the picks. Somebody else took Watson because somebody took out their GM after passing on Hutchinson. But I would say, if I were you guys right now, I would pick get Zach Wilson weapons, give him options. I would either say Wademeyer or Pickens. That'd be what I would say right now. Either Wademeyer or Pickens. So I don't know what you guys think. You have a preference between the two. I know a lot of people want Dalton Schultz, so they don't want to think about drafting a second tight end. But again, Joe Douglas is about building through the draft, right? We talked about Dalton Schultz. He's going to get paid. This dude's going to get money. He's probably going to get I'm just guessing, like $12 million a year-ish, give or take. Maybe more, depending if people start to overspend on him. Joe Douglas may feel like that's too rich for his taste. He might say, you know what? It's a quality guy, but he wasn't a high draft pick himself. Let's build through the draft. So Jeremy says Pickens. I do really like Pickens, and Zachary said Pickens as well. So let's do it. Let's take George Pickens. I'm a fan. I like the kid. I think he can be the kind of guy that could be a wide receiver 2 or a slot guy, or hell, maybe even develop into a wide receiver 1. So let's get Pickens, steal him right there. And now we got a little while to wait. We got a couple of picks to wait. Maybe we could speed up the process a little. We can see who goes off the board. We can mention some. So there goes Wademeyer at 79 is a little crazy. So Alec Lindstrom's off the board now. The Giants just got their center. And again, people are sleeping on Alec Lindstrom. I just want to point that out. I know it's hard for me to stay on him because the draft is still happening. But people are sleeping on Alec Lindstrom. This kid is a quality center for a late round pick. So Jeremy Ruckert just went off the board. That's another tight end I really like, a later round tight end. One guy I don't get how Charlie Kohler is rated so low. That I don't get. So Charlie Kohler, I think, is excellent. I think Charlie Kohler is one of the top 5 tight ends in this draft, in my honest opinion. I really like Charlie Kohler. So Kev points, I like. So that was kind of how I felt. I mean, I was good with either. I mean, I like Ross and I like Pickens. I'm a fan of both. Different receivers, again, in my opinion. Ross is going to be more of a contested catch kind of guy, while Pickens could be that, but he's going to be more of like again, the best way to describe Pickens is he has the ability to develop into the ceiling is sky high with him because he really checks every box. He's got the height, he's got the weight, he's got the size, he's got the physicality, but he's also a pretty good route runner and he's got very good hands. So I said, Kev, I appreciate you, Kev. Kev points out if you want to see who you drafted, click on the team's logo. So we have one offer right here. We can move down 20 picks and also pick up one pick 143. I mean, if we could look at who's on the board right here, see if anyone we're dying for. I mean, I do like Tariq Woolen. I feel like he's slept on because he's a no school kind of guy. People don't pay attention to him. Trey Barry, I like. But all of these guys could be there at 130. So that's not a bad trade option. We're going to drop 20 picks, but we're picking up 143. So we're picking up another pick in this draft. So if I were you guys, I'm thinking we take it. I mean, we're going to get another pick. So now we drop 20 picks, but there's still a lot of talented later round guys in this draft. Looking at a board, again, there's nobody, that jumps out to me like, oh my God, they fell. Like no one's jumping out to me like, oh my God, they're there. I need to take them at 110. So because no one's doing that to me, I would say trade down, but I'll leave it up to you guys. What do you guys think? Do you want to trade down or is there a certain position you want to look at? So we know, so far we've taken an edge, offensive lineman, a cornerback, a tight end, and a wide receiver. So I would say maybe you guys wanted to go with a linebacker. I like Micah McFadden, honestly. I mean, I feel like he's a little slept on. I also like JoJo Doman. Not at 110, though. I'm just saying I like them. I don't like them at 110. I don't know if you guys are thinking, yeah, I'm with you, David. Trade down, that's what JD would do. Because, again, I would look at it. JD looking at this would go, okay, is there someone on the board that jumps out like, oh, my God, they're there at 110, I have to sprint up? Not so much. I mean, I do feel like Tariq Woolen, if you guys haven't seen him, check him out a bit. He's a little slept on because he's from a no-name school. People aren't really looking at him as much. I think he's slept on. Maybe do that. We did, though, walk away with McBride already. I say trade down. So let's trade down. Let's pick up another pick in this draft. So let's trade down. Unfortunately, I apologize, guys, for doing the constant zooming in and zooming out. But we're going to accept the trade. So now we are down to 130. Let's see who goes. So that's so funny, guys. Oh my God, that's so funny. Tariq Woolen literally just went. Oh man, that's too much. So that's funny, man. So Tariq Woolen literally just went. I would have loved him there. Man, I would have loved him at 116. That would have been a great pick. Again, I feel like this kid slept on. It makes sense for Seattle, honestly, because we know Seattle used to have the Legion of Boom. They found Richard Sherman out of nowhere. Keep your eyes on Tariq Woolen, guys. And that's, again, a guy I'm throwing out for you guys to check out. Goes to a nobody school, so people aren't watching him too much. Check this kid out. As a later round pick, I do like him. So I don't know if there's somebody, of course, it's Seattle. That's what Kev points out. I know, man. I know. It's too funny. But so we did get a wide receiver and tight end, but hell, you can't have too many weapons, right? What did we see in the Super Bowl? And you guys remember, you saw it in my Super Bowl episode. We saw elite receiving cores for both teams. My apologies, guys. We saw elite receiving cores for both teams, especially the Rams, who had freaking the best wide receiver in all of football, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, who would have been a wide receiver one on any other team, and Van Jefferson, who I feel like is one of the most slept on young wide receivers. I feel like this kid in his second year is really freaking good. I really like Van Jefferson. So wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe double down on another wide receiver. I don't know if there's a guy you guys specifically like. I'll be honest with as you guys know, with my draft eval, I've been, digging in. I've been getting a lot deeper. That's why I'm mentioning a lot of later round guys to you guys. I haven't dug as much into the later round wide receivers. I'll be honest. I haven't dug as much. I have seen a little bit of Khalil Shakir. I do like him. He is a guy that I do like as a potentially later round guy. Let's see who they have as sleepers. I like Calvin Austin III a little bit. Seen him, I like I also like Drummond. Those are some guys I do like, but again, up to you guys. So we could get another wide receiver weapon. We could get a running back. We could take a guy like, Rachaad White is not a bad pick here. Neither is Tyler Beatty, but I feel like White, might have a little bit more upside potentially. But up to you guys. We can go with an offensive lineman. We could look at defense. See what we got at the edge rusher. So specifically edge rusher, and I could be crazy on this. I'm not crazy, but I think I'm right on this. I think Joe Douglas is going to take more than one edge rusher in this draft. I do. I feel like even if we get a top guy like Aiden Hutchinson, we saw so many injuries last year. Our pass rush, as we know, our defense is literally predicated on the pass rush. Our defense is predicated with getting to the quarterback, and we didn't do that enough this year. We were too inconsistent, and because of that, the linebackers suffered, the cornerbacks suffered. Even though there was quality play at that position, they suffered. So we got Aiden Hutchinson. There is no guarantee Carl Lawson's going to be 100%. I mean, I think he's going to be good, but there's no guarantee he's going to be 100. We saw a lot of injuries at the edge rusher position. That could be a position to double down on right now. So you got a guy like Jeffrey Gunter. To point out a little bit on him. I've seen a little on him. The one thing I like about him is, again, this. I'm glad they brought it up. A lot of people feel like he has the potential to be a higher drafted guy because he went to Coastal, and you guys remember how good that Coastal defense was, right? You guys remember I talked about how good that Coastal defense was, specifically playing against Zach Wilson, right? So he could be an interesting guy. Jeffrey Gunter could potentially be an interesting guy because you look here at what he's done. 2019, 14 TFLs, 5 sacks. Wrong numbers. Was sidelined in 2019, put that up in 2018, and then in 2020, in 2021, he also put up big numbers. So injury's been an issue for him, but I feel like he has a lot of potential. He's the kind of guy that if injury wasn't an issue, he could be a lot higher as a higher draft pick. So he's the kind of guy to roll the dice on right now, honestly. At 116, he would be a good guy to potentially draft and roll the dice on a little bit. So that's a guy I kind of like. I would say, roll the dice. Jeffrey Gunter, when he played, has looked really good. I know a lot of people do like Michael Clemens as well. So Clemens is definitely an interesting option. But guys, I do think Gunter, if he didn't have injury history, would be a higher pick. So Kevin points out he agrees, yeah, he could be a serious riser as the draft comes closer. It's a great pick here. We walked away with Aiden Hutchinson, again, the best edge rusher in this draft, the best. Can I watch this kid again, we're talking about Aiden Hutchinson here, not Gunter. Aiden Hutchinson, a very, very raw TJ Watt type, Nick Bosa type, that physically dominant end, but also very athletic, which again fits the mold of Carl Lawson. So him and Carl Lawson could be an excellent dynamic, but Gunter is slept on. Just like Kevin pointed out, this kid is, Jeremy points out the same thing, he's massively slept on. Again, he missed time because of injury, but a lot of people say if he wasn't hurt and he continued the production he did throughout his collegiate career, like he did last year and like he did in 2018, he would have been potentially a second-round pick, a lot of people were saying. So I say easy pick, Jeffrey Gunter, boom. It's a decent risk right there. You know what? At 116, you roll the dice. There's injury history, but if he pans out, if you hit on him and Hutchinson, man, Gunter, Hutchinson, Carl Lawson, John Franklin Myers, Bryce Huff, man, that's a sexy edge rusher room. That edge rusher room just got really, Really sexy. I'll be honest, man. So I like that pick. I like Gunter a lot. Oh, Cade Mays is off the board. I did like him as a late round guy. I felt like he'd be a good sleeper, honestly. So let's see, by talent wise, who's available. Okay, so we hadn't gone safety yet. So we could use a safety right now. Kirby Joseph is not a bad move. A lot of people do like Kirby Joseph. Another guy, bringing up the numbers on him. Oh, that's funny. Coming soon. I'll give you a little again. I haven't seen that much on him, but from what I've heard with Kirby Joseph, he's the kind of guy I've heard people saying the same thing. Not with injury, but that he has the potential to be a better player. That people do really like him. I know a lot of people also like JT Woods. So that could be a good pick right here. If you guys want to go either Kirby Joseph or JT Woods, be a good idea to maybe get a safety right now. So that's a decent option. We could double down at corner. Okay, Tariq Castro Fields is there. I really like Tariq Castro Fields. I feel like he's slept on. I don't understand how he's rated this low. I think he has a lot of potential. I do like Castro Fields. So that could be a really good, interesting option here. Taylor Britt is also a good option here. So interesting also, they don't have anything on Britt. So Taylor Britt is an interesting option. Again, haven't seen too much on him, but I just want to make sure I'm thinking of the same guy. I'm pretty sure he's that larger quarterback. Just give me one sec. I see his measurables quick to make sure I'm thinking of the right guy. Yes. Okay, good. 6', 205. Just had to make sure. So he's a guy that I like. He's a guy that I think is slept on. Jeremy points out Kirby Joseph is a sleeper. I do agree. So again, at safety, I like Kirby Joseph. I feel like he is, again, like a guy like Gunter, not injury-wise, but a guy that's slept on. A lot of people like JT Woods too. But guys, I do really like Cam Taylor. I feel like Cam Taylor is slept on. The nice thing about Cam Taylor is 6 foot, 205 pounds, and he is quick. He is a fast, quick 6 foot, 205 pounds. He's physical. He could be an outside sleeper. Cam Taylor Britt is the kind of guy that you draft later that can be a sleeper CB2, potentially even more than that. I also do like Tariq Castro Fields. So my opinion with you guys right now would either be Taylor Britt, Castro Fields, or Kirby Joseph. That's what I would do if I were you guys right now. Now, we do have the 143rd pick as well, because remember, we got that in the trade. So we do have a pick about 10 out. Tariq Fields could be there. I don't think Cam Taylor will. I'll be honest. I kind of like Taylor Britt a little more right now. I'll be honest, I really do like Cam Taylor. I just had to look him up quick to remind me of the guy I was thinking of. He's the kid out of Nebraska again. 6 foot, 205 pounds, quite athletic. Over the last 3 years, he has 5 interceptions, and in 2021, he has 11 PDs. So I just wanted to make sure, because this is the guy I'm thinking about. This kid had a really, really good 2021. He had 11 passes defensed, and over the last 3 years, he has 5 interceptions. And again, he's 6 foot, 205 pounds, and quite athletic. So I'll be honest, I do really like him. I don't know about you guys. I would really like to take him here. I feel like he could be a guy that could be a potential outside sleeper, but I also do like Kirby Joseph as well. So I'll leave it up to you guys. I'll let you guys know what you think. But if you haven't heard of Cam Taylor, definitely look Cam Taylor up. He is a slept-on player. This guy is big, physical, and fast. And again, had 11 PDs just last year alone and has 5 interceptions over the last 3 years. So I do really like Cam Taylor. He's a guy I do really like. So I don't know what you guys think. Again, my option again, if I were picking, I would have it between Cam Taylor Britt, Tariq Castro Fields, but I'd be honest, I would take Taylor Britt first. So Cam Taylor Britt or Kirby Joseph. Up to you guys. Cam Taylor Britt or Kirby Joseph. What do you guys think? We'll narrow it down to that. Taylor Britt or Kirby Joseph. I'll be honest, if you guys don't say anything, I think I'm going to go Taylor Britt. Because, again, I do really like him. If you watch the film on him, again, big, physical corner that can play outside, but he's quick and keeps up with wide receivers. But, again, he's been excellent in coverage. He is a slept-on cornerback. Very slept-on corner, Cam Taylor. So I don't see, you guys don't seem to have too much of an opinion. I'm going to go rogue here. I'm going Cam Taylor. So again, if you guys want to look him up, check him out on your own. I just wanted to, again, make sure he was the guy I'm thinking of. He is. Watch this kid play. You're going to like this pick. You're going to like Cam Taylor Britt at 130. I guarantee you will. So Kirby Joseph is still there. Okay, Kirby Joseph is still there. So that's easy. No brainer. Let's take Kirby Joseph at 143. Man, this draft is sexy. I don't know about you, but this is a sexy, sexy, sexy draft right now. Like, we got some really good late round sleepers so far. Like, look at this. Let's look at this for a second. We walked away with Aiden Hutchinson and Akeem Aquanu. Then we got Trent McDuffie and Trey McBride. Then his later round guys, George Pickens, the wide receiver, Jeffrey Gunter, who again is very slept on, Cam Taylor Britt, who I'm telling you guys, check him out. You will fall for him. Him and I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now on the guy I mentioned before. We've been talking about so many draft guys, I can't remember. But if you check back, I mentioned another corner before. Him and Cam Taylor are two guys that are very slept on. Very, very slept on, that do not get enough acknowledgement and appreciation. So we still have 2 picks left. I say we save 163 for a corner, for a kicker, and let's see who we have talent-wise on the board. So if we look at the best available players, some people wanted to go linebacker. Terrell Bernard is not a bad pick here. Terrell Bernard at 146 is not a bad pick. This kid is raw. I do want to throw that out. He is raw on top of raw. But at 146, there's potential there. There's definitely a lot of potential. So that's definitely an option we could go in. If you guys want to keep going corner, we could take Tariq Castro Fields. I'll be honest, I ain't complaining about that. But what position would you guys like to look at? But again, I do implore you to check out Cam Taylor. I'm telling you, you're going to be impressed with what you see with this kid, with his size, ability, physicality, but more importantly, his coverage ability. He is a slept-on player who they had him ranked at 120. Shit, if people catch on to him, he could go in the 80s, 90s. He definitely could. Watch that kid. So up to you guys. We have one more pick left before I say we go kicker. If you guys want to look at the kickers available, they're ranked super high. So I don't think we're going to miss out. Up to you guys. I know some people wanted to go linebackers. I'm thinking Terrell Bernard would not be a bad pick here. Up to you guys. I don't know if there's a certain guy you guys like. So it's the last pick. If there's a certain guy you guys like, if you want to throw it out. But again, guys, this draft is crazy. This draft, if it happens on draft day, if the Jets have this draft, this exact draft, after what Joe Douglas did last year, we're enshrining that man in gold. We're going down to One Jet Drive on right after the draft, and we're building him a statue because this draft is redonkulous, just redonkulous. We got Matthias here. Appreciate you, my man. Hey, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you being here. So we got one pick left before we're going kicker. Doesn't seem like you guys have too much of a opinion at this point. Maybe you guys are just tired of all the information. But I say we go Terrell Bernard. So let's get a linebacker. Not the worst move. And now we'll go to kicker with the last pick. So who do you guys like as kicker? That's the $1 million question. I know that some people are torn between York and Mavis. That's what I've been hearing. People are kind of torn between the two. Some lean toward Mavis, some lean toward York. What do you guys think? I'll throw it out to you. What do you guys think? Who would you like to have? Andrew Mavis or Cade York? So Jeremy says York, and it's interesting. I've noticed with the two of them, it's very split. It seems like people are, it's kind of like last year with McPherson, who honestly was the better pick. McPherson and, oh my God, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now, because he wasn't even drafted. He didn't even get drafted. Jeff points out he doesn't follow kickers. It's just interesting is these two guys, it seems like everybody's like, they really like Mays, or they really like, they really like Mavis, or they really like York. That's kind of been what I've seen with people with kicker. They're like, Mavis is the man. Iowa State's got a great system. Then people are like, man, York's leg is ridiculous. That kid's got a freaking cannon. It seems like it's again, I don't know why I'm blanking on the name right now. If you guys want to help me out, but it's like that debate last year between the one kicker and McPherson, where everybody was like fiercely like one way or another. So up to you guys. So far, we have one vote for York. I love it. You guys are just kind of proving it's so funny. We're going to see it's very split. It's very interesting. I've been noticing this, that everyone's kind of like either in love with Mavis or in love with York. So far we got 2 for York. We got NFL Chaos with Jeremy for York and Tom with York. Jeremy says he also likes the LSU kicker. So I guess that kind of. Well, sorry, York is the LSU kicker. You threw me off for a second, Jeremy. I was like, wait a minute. And Matthias likes Mavis. Matthias also points out he wanted McPherson. Man, that would have been the pick, man. I mean, oh, man. Oh, if we got McPherson. So Dan also likes York. So it seems like York has more of the consensus at the moment. But it's crazy. I'm telling you. I've seen it. It's like a split. Everyone's like either they like Mavis or they like York. So let's go with York. Let's take York. And man, this is a sexy Jets draft, guys. This is a really, really sexy Jets draft. Now, I don't know how you guys would grade this, but I'm giving it an A+. In fact, I'm giving it an A++. Like, this is an insane draft that we have right now. It's not over yet, but you guys know the picks we have. So let's let this guy play out. Maybe we can make it go a little bit faster. Now it looks like we got to let it play out at its speed. Okay, so we can see the guys that go with these last couple of picks. Let's see what we got going now that we're hitting the 200s. So Zion McCollum is another cornerback that some people like, is a sleeper guy that people really haven't kept their eye on. I know some people like Fadukasi, the linebacker. Jake Camarada just went, the punter. That's another. We don't need a punter, obviously, but teams that need a punter, they have their eyes on him in the draft. We're getting toward the end of it. Jojo Doman just went. Jojo Doman is a guy, I do like that kid. So as a late round wide receiver, that could be an interesting guy to target, potentially. We're getting to it. We're getting to the end of it, but guys, we killed it. Oh, man. This was like, this was like, like Jeremy points out, I know you like Fadukasi. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny, man. But man, I'm sad with Foley, honestly, man. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna be able to keep him because we paid John Franklin Myers. We're most likely gonna be looking to pay Quinnen Williams. Man, Foley is an excellent, excellent young player. He could be walking, and it's really sad, but he could be, man. So this is a crazy draft, guys. Like this is just insanity. This is like ridiculous. So, and as you saw, we picked up a pick next year. So we got this ridiculous draft, and we picked up a pick for next year. So got Aiden Hutchinson, Akeem Ekwonu, Trent McDuffie, Trey McBride, George Pickens, sleeper edge Jeffrey Gunter, sleeper cornerback Cam Tyler Britt, sleeper safety Kirby Joseph, a wild card Terrell Bernard, and then Cade York, a kicker. I don't know about you guys. This is an A+ draft to me. This is an amazing draft. You walked away with the best edge rusher in the draft, the best offensive lineman in the draft, one of the better cornerbacks in the draft, arguably the best tight end in the draft, a quality sleeper wide receiver, and then a quality sleeper edge, quality sleeper corner, quality sleeper safety, wild card linebacker, but then a quality kicker. Man, this is beautiful. This is just an unbelievable draft. If the Jets pull this draft off, man, you guys know how I felt. The fact that Hutchinson and Ekwonu were available at 4 and 10, like that was it for me to begin with. We walked away with McDuffie. We walked away with Trey McBride, who I love. George Pickens is slept on. And again, Gunter slept on. Taylor Britt is slept on. This is a draft, guys. This is an unbelievable draft. In fact, I would actually go as far. Again, it's probably the odds are like very nothing that Hutchinson and Ekwonu are there at 4 and 10. But this draft, I would probably say this is the best Jets draft I've seen. I would probably say this is the best draft I've seen for the Jets yet. I love it, man. I absolutely love this draft in every single pick. Matthias says, where do I sign up? Man, I'm ready. Like, oh my God. Like, I still am trying to deal with the fact that Karlaftis went at 3. again, the odds of that happening are like nothing. I mean, it's pretty crazy, but anything can happen. So we somehow were able to walk away with Aiden Hutchinson, which is just unbelievable and amazing. We were somehow able to walk away with Akeem Ekwonu at 10, which again, I would be shocked if Hutchinson, is still there and Karlaftis is off the board. And I would also be shocked if Ekwonu makes it to 10. But hey, like we said, crazier things have happened. So I'm going to post this draft on Twitter so you guys can see it. But I'll tell you guys again, this is, again, highly unlikely, but this is the best Jets draft I have seen. Overall, all the players all together, this is the best Jets draft I have seen so far. So I want to thank you guys again for tuning in. I want to thank you guys for being here and being part of the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast, for tuning in and being a part of this episode. I hope you enjoyed the mock draft. I hope you enjoyed the picks. And man, this was a special draft. Probably won't roll out this way, but this was a special, special draft. And again, we look at those players. I'm going to put them up on Twitter. I think this is the best Jets draft I've seen, period. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the Take Flight Spit and Fire podcast. I hope you have a great, great rest of your evening. I will see you guys next week. We'll do another mock. Have a lot of fun with it. Again, have a great rest of your week, guys, and I will see you later. And let's go, Jets.